Now I'd like to turn to Jarrod Sanderson for you to make your opening remarks, and please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chairman Estes, Representative Carey, Ranking Members Larson and Davis, and distinguished members of the subcommittee. Before I get started, I wanted to say, Chairman Estes, while I live in Missouri, the work that I've done that I'm going to talk about happened in Kansas, so hopefully you give me some grace and don't hold it against me where I reside. So my name is Jarrod Sanderson. I come to you today wearing 2 hats. I started my career, cut my teeth in the social service world, licensed clinical social worker. I worked in that space for 18 years. I worked in about every program you can imagine. I started in foster care. I worked in senior care. I worked in veteran care. I represented the United States Department of State as a Fulbright scholar in South Africa doing homeless prevention. That was the first 18 years. I then pivoted to the for-profit world where I was the COO for Nautical Manufacturing and Fulfillment and a managing partner for Staffing by Starboard, a sister staffing company for Nautical. So I want to talk about both of those experiences because they're both very relevant. I want to talk about the social service part of this first and then pivot to the reason that I was invited, which was the employer perspective, hiring people with disabilities. So on the nonprofit side, I'm a firm believer in social entrepreneurship. I think businesses that place their purpose at the center and the intersection of market demand and social need can do a whole lot of good. They can harness the power of markets, but also meet social demands in ways that some other programs just can't. So I have the benefit of sitting on 2 boards for organizations in Kansas City that do this very well. Prosperity is the name of one of them. We train homeless moms in dog grooming and then place them at salons throughout the city, and we open our own salon. Most of the women that we work with, long histories of poverty and trauma. The crushing impact of that generally leads to some type of diagnosed disability, mostly on the mental health side. So that is a social entrepreneurship that I think works and also creates pathways to employment for people with disabilities. The other board that I sit on is Reconciliation Services. This is an organization that is nested at 31st and Truce. Truce is the racial dividing line in Kansas City historically, and they are working on community healing and also have a very strong social entrepreneurship focus and workforce program. Same thing there, a whole lot of individuals with diagnosed disabilities for mental health because they have known nothing but poverty and trauma their entire lives. There is so much talent that is being wasted because all it gets to do is spend its time trying to survive. And if you don't have anything else that you can focus on but getting through the day, it is extremely difficult to engage in any type of workforce program, whether it's funded or not. So I say that because we really do have to address the things that are causing people to not get to work to begin with. So I want to spend a few minutes talking about that. In general, my core message today is that it is not charity to hire people with disabilities. It is a sound business strategy. There is a huge upside, and I will get into why that is from my perspective. I think the data and research bears this out as well. So the talent isn't untapped because there's a lack of skill or desire. There are some outdated perceptions and some systemic barriers, generally not because of malice, but because sometimes incentives just don't align. And things have changed. We've learned a lot more about the space that we're working in now. So there are kind of 2 broad types of disabilities that I want to cover. Actually, one that I want to cover, which is more the mental health side. There are people to the left and right of me that are much, much better on the developmental and physical disability side. Before I get into the last thing I want to talk about, the benefits cliff is a very real problem. Depending on the state, TANF, Medicaid, and child care subsidies can have a cliff effect where it's kind of all or nothing. That does make it difficult sometimes for somebody to come in at an entry level and then earn their way in. Housing and transportation is also a major issue generally, and that exacerbates for people with disabilities. So those are policy things. I want to finish my time talking about an experience that we've had at Nautical Manufacturing and Fulfillment with Down Syndrome Innovations, an organization in Lenexa, Kansas. We struggle with the same thing that every 3PL struggles with, which is seasonal work. We partnered with Down Syndrome Innovations to hire their self-advocates. Long story short, we've hired 35 of their individuals to date, and they are exactly the kinds of individuals that any employer is looking for. They're engaged, they're consistent, and they love what they do. The throughput and their production has increased. The number of smiles that go through that building have increased substantially as well. It's not just heartwarming. It's not just the right thing to do. It was actually just a very sound business strategy. So I think there are a lot of individuals in that space. This is a very big topic, so I will stop there, but I think that we have millions of people who are ready to be committed, loyal, engaged, and growth-minded, and they just need a pathway to get there. So I very much appreciate the time today and appreciate you hosting this hearing so that we can talk through these issues. Thank you.